once Monk joins. Okay, now, first things first. So, got a little graphic going on here. These are the news topics. So, Seventh Heaven Experience and my stream-a-thon I'll be doing this week, leading into next week. Couple of Ever Crisis announcements, and then we have Clouding 2025. So, let's get down to it. The Spitfire topics will be CloTis Seymour, Barrifa buffoonery. What is this really about? Hint, 40 years of history in Zerith. Stay tuned for that answer. And then just a couple of other things that I saw going on in the Twitter world that I wanted to touch on, which is this multiple endings nonsense. I think it's a cop-out. CloTis don't need it nor want it. I'll tell you why. 2, gatekeeping ain't always a bad thing. And if you've been paying attention to the last 24 hours, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. So, next, I will be going to the Seventh Heaven Experience. Very excited to announce that. I might have said it before, but I am officially announcing I'm going. So, I won't tell the exact dates because, you know, people are crazy. But I will be going in the first couple of weeks of November. So, that is what my stream-a-thon is going to be about. I'm going to be streaming from Wednesday to either Tuesday or Wednesday. So, it'll be 7 or 8 days. I haven't quite decided because I have something I'd like to do. If I can fit it into the 7 days, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll do it at the end of the stream-a-thon on that extra day. So, the stream-a-thon will first start off with the Final Fantasy XIII Ever Crisis crossover. Since that starts Wednesday, I'll be doing that stream Wednesday night, obviously, because that's when it comes out. And then we will go through some chapters of Rebirth, okay? I've decided pretty much, I'm going to skip a few chapters. Where I last landed was chapter 6 on my stream. I'm going to probably, this is tentative, do 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14. So skipping over 7 and 10 for different reasons, which I'll get into, but there are a couple of things I'll probably touch on. But I'd like to play through as much of those chapters as possible. Particularly Friday and Saturday, I'll have a lot of time. So I'm going to try to do 4 or 5 hours of streaming for both of those days. So definitely stay tuned for that. And I'd like to set some goals. So, you know, when I go to the Seventh Heaven Experience, of course, there's transportation, got to get to the airport, from the airport, food, you know, gas money, hotel, all of that. And I'd also like to, of course, buy merch and try different items on the menu. I'm going to take lots of video. So really excited about that. And I will be taking donations on my Cash App to help out for that. I really appreciate anything you can give. The Cash App is working fine. I checked it from last time because that's how I got my Twitch payouts before. So I knew it was working, but I just want to double check. So that's honestly just the quickest way to help me out so I can have the full Seventh Heaven experience. As we go through the week, I'm going to show more. They have a lot of videos on Instagram and just people who have been sharing what they've gone through as they went there. It's really freaking cool. I'm especially excited about they have these windows, and if you look outside the window, it actually looks like, yeah, we're going to do the Costa del Sol discussion again. We're going to try to re-record that. Yeah, the audio was so trash on it, I had to redo it. Sorry. I couldn't fix the audio, but we are definitely going to go through that again. Trust me, Mr. Jamie. Hi, how you doing? But yeah, so when you look outside the windows, you're literally looking at in-game play as if you were looking outside the windows of, you know, Seventh Heaven inside of Sector 7. That is so cool. And then this actually came from when Britt Barron, this is the actress of Tifa, the voice actress. They let her go back there and like kind of act like she was Tifa. It's super cool. Multiple people have gone. I know Brianna, Britt, Susie. I think Hamaguchi went. I'm fairly certain. So I'm going to be very excited to be in like the same space, like going to Seventh Heaven. So anything you can give, $1, $5, $10, it will all go towards the cause of getting the full Seventh Heaven experience. And I will have more information on that again as the streamathon goes. Another thing I'll go ahead and announce now that'll be part of the streamathon, this is what I was talking about, is I'm going to finally do my Final Fantasy VII LTD Ask Me Anything. So I will tell you Wednesday what hashtag to use. I don't care who the questions come from. I have full confidence in my understanding of the story of FF7. I'm happy to answer anything. As long as it's asked respectfully and I can get to the question, I don't mind answering it. I don't care if it comes from CloTis, Claire's, Sephikuras, Barrifas, anybody who wants to ask, non-shippers, people even asking stuff like, why do you care about the shipping? I think it's a valid question. Why do you care at all? That's a perfectly valid question. Ask me anything. So I will give that hashtag. And then the hashtag for the streamathon in general is going to be Stygian Stream-a-thon. Okay. All right. Next on the docket. All right. So DISSIDIA DUELLUM was announced. This is a new app. I'm sorry. A game app that will be coming out in 2026. It has characters we all recognize. These are the 10 that have been announced so far. You have ones like Cloud, of course, Zidane, Renoa, Lightning. So a lot of familiar faces. And these aren't the only characters that will be, you know, revealed, I'm sure. This is just the starting roster. So definitely keep an eye out for more information on that. This is the crossover I was talking about. So my first day of my streamathon, I will be playing through the first part of the FF13 Ever Crisis crossover. We don't know too much about it. All we know is that Lightning ends up in Nibelheim. So Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith end up in Nibelheim. And I just love whenever Cloud and Tifa are in Nibelheim. So I'm very excited. It's just so cool, like knowing that's where they grew up. That's where the, you know, famous water tower promise happened. You know, and now we got the new scene of Cloud going up there and gushing over Tifa. You know, to the point where it was like, you come up here thinking about her, don't you? He's like, yeah. Love it. So, but yeah, I'm genuinely interested in how this all works out. I'm imagining this will... Okay. Let's see, we got an FF13 diehard in here. Okay. Love it. I'm thinking they will somehow tie the Falsi. If I had to guess, they will somehow tie the Falsi into the Cetra lore, live stream, something along those lines, because this is, I believe, the third or fourth event that they've done around Nibelheim. So they did the Halloween one, which in and of itself, it was the first time that this whole portal thing was introduced, and you have Sephiroth and Glenn ending up in Nibelheim. And you get these flashes, you know, the Hojo makes an appearance, you get these flashes of the future or stuff like that. Is very interesting. And then they did the Bahamut one, where they tied in Cetra lore into Nibelheim. Then they did the 1.5 anniversary, where they tied in Odin lore, more summon lore. So you have summon lore, Cetra lore, this live stream lore that's going on. You're seeing the dead here, and you know that story with Tifa, you know, where the reason this whole thing happened with the mountain incident is because she thought she could see her mother on the other side of the mountain. That's where the dead went. So they're really leaning into this. I find it so interesting. So I'm very excited to see what they do with this crossover. All right. Everybody still can hear me all right. I'm just checking. Okay, let's see. Okay. The conclusion of First Soldier Part 2, by the way, has dropped. Pretty sure this is the conclusion of this story. So definitely check it out. You're going to find out a lot of tie-in between First Soldier and Rebirth, and then obviously leading into whatever goes on with Part 3, because Glenn is not a happy camp. I mean, there's a lot of Rufus has been a bad boy. Okay. No, it's very interesting. And then the way that they portray Glenn after that moment, I don't want to spoil too much, but trust me, it's worth playing. you're gonna feel a lot of tie-ins to Rebirth and this whole situation. Like, what's really going on with all these worlds? Are we actually in an MCU style universe, or what's happening here? To me, the longer it goes, the more it's obvious that they're just taking the compilation, filling in the gaps, tying in all the lore that we already are familiar with, and spitting out this re-trilogy. You know, one of my moots said that, you know, it doesn't have to be a sequel. It doesn't, you know, like, there's, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. And I do agree with that. It's not a one-to-one, that's obvious. But this idea has got to be a sequel, and it's all, now everything's going to change. And so far, I'm seeing no evidence of that. A lot of details are added. Some details have changed. But the overall, it's the same. You know, I expect some wild stuff out of part 3, but what I don't expect is, for instance, I don't expect Meteor to not be cast. I don't expect, you know, that if we go to Wutai, it'll be, you know, Sid battling it out with Yuffie's dad instead of, you know, if we do the tower thing, it'll be Sid and Yuffie's dad having that battle instead of them. You know, like, I don't expect Don Corneo to kidnap Barrett. You know, like, everything, you know, I mean, which even that detail wouldn't even matter, but, like, you know, I don't expect when we go to space and finish off Sid's thing that we're going to spend time in space having Cloud accept, you know, that Aerith is dead. Like, why this is not the appropriate time for this. So I don't know why people think Tifa's scenes, curiously, are the ones where this is all the appropriate time for making it all about Aerith. You know, if we had gone to, you know, Corel, and suddenly the whole thing was about another character that had nothing to do with it, people would find that strange. But for some reason, curiously, people think that, yeah, this is all, even though every other character, the parts of the story that went for them still went for them, suddenly it's all going to change in part 3. You know, no, that's not happening. But anyway, I digress. So definitely check this out. If you don't actually play the game, just go on YouTube. I'm sure it's uploaded. Okay. All right, next. All right, last announcement, or, you know, news worthy thing. CloTis 2025 is this week. So if you're familiar with CloTis, it's been going on for a few years, very popular. It is going to be a 3-day event starting on Wednesday as well. Very excited about that. I love Halloween, like I said. I love CloTis. We always get lots of good art out of it. So cool, cool, cool. Definitely check that out. You can go to twitter.com/CloudTifa events to learn more. Okay. All right. Woo! To the hot topics of the day, the Spitfire topics. Oh, Lord. Okay. I have so much to say about this. Oh, my God. First off, whew, I'm trying to think. You know, I want to start off with a few things. Once again, this is not about hating Clarith. This is not about hating Clarets. Okay. This isn't about how dare you ship Fanon. I demand you only ship Can, or I only demand you ship ships that I like. Okay. This is none of that. I could not care. You know how many different ships exist in the Final Fantasy VII realm? I mean, you know how many characters exist? That's pretty much times that amount of characters by the same amount of characters, you know, times that number by, I mean, endless amounts. Not to mention crossover, you know, crossover shipping. I follow Noctifa. I don't care, like, you know, hot people together, hot, whatever. I don't care. Like, I have no problem with crossover shipping, whatever the official name is, fan shipping, any kind of shipping. What I do have a problem with is bastardizing stories to try to fit my fan and ship into a canon hole. Okay, That's what I have a problem with. And the Copium got really, really, really bad in the last week. So Square Enix decided to start posting FF10 music on one of their Twitter feeds, right? And they posted this picture with the name of the song Tragedy. Now, if you're not familiar with Final Fantasy X, at some point Yuna, who I might add is 17, she agrees to marry Seymour, right? He's half Guado, half human, and they basically are doing this as a means of, it's a political move. On the surface, it looks like a political move. This is the right thing to do to bridge gaps, bring people together, etc. So she agrees, even though she's obviously got feelings for Titus, in love with Titus at this point. I would say Titus to the day I die. I'm not saying Titus. Let's get that on out the way. Okay. Yuna is very selfless. And by the way, I get a little offended by this because, like, I love Final Fantasy X. I always tell people my top 3: Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy VII. I know that seems crazy because of how much I talk about and post about Final Fantasy VII, but it's the one that got the re-trilogy going, and it's just super exciting content. I absolutely love CloTis to death. I love the story to death. So, but anyway, 10 is my second favorite. Such a gripping tale, such a tale of losing your religion, and like so political. I'm a huge political person, so like all these political messages throughout it. So she ends up realizing that Seymour is not just innocently trying to, help bridge the gap between Guado and humans. He's got a lot more nefarious plans going on. Anyway, he ends up forcing her into this marriage. And I do mean force, dragged, into this marriage. And so thus, this kiss is not consensual, okay? I have to stress that. Now, when they posted this, the second I saw this, and I didn't realize they would immediately prove me right. I texted, I messaged Nightmare. I said, girl, I guarantee Claire's about to swarm this and make this all about FF7. Okay. Well, they're going to do one of two things, or maybe both. One is say, see, they'll even promote a villain kissing a heroine, but they won't promote Cloud and Tifa kissing, as if they didn't do a whole stream. I mean, first off, what a strange, bizarre thing for your mind to even jump to it. That's what scares me. Is like, I've been dealing with Twitter Claire's for so long that I immediately knew where their mind would jump. And it did not take 24 hours for them to prove me. Okay. I was like, so what a bizarre thing to even think of in the first place. You're watching somebody be forced into a kiss, and your first thought is, how can I make this a win against the ship I hate most? Okay. But, yeah. They're like, but yeah, Hamaguchi has talked about the kiss. He said it was about, it was about growth. He hugged Tifa in the first game. Now he kisses her. I wonder what he does with Tifa in the next game. Okay. They did a whole interview thing about the kiss in the Ultimania. They did a whole stream about, they've only done a stream about Tifa's date. Nobody else's. Okay. And watched there and showed people's shocked reaction to it. Like, so the idea that they don't promote the kiss is absolutely a lie and ridiculous. But again, why would you see this and even think of that? And I know people are wondering what that's about, right? But I knew their mind would have to jump to that, and or start going back into this. Oh, see, here's a kiss that's on screen that isn't the romantic parent. So of course that means Cloud and Tifa doesn't have to be the romantic parents just because they have a kiss too. Okay. Copium out of this world. Let me see what everybody's saying first. Okay. Hey Rekka. Oh, how do you pronounce Tifa then? Brian, be quiet. Okay. Okay. I don't like you making sense right there. Okay. Non-consensual wanted port unit. Exactly. Like, hey, SPITFYRE, hey, honey bun. They don't need to promote CloTis. It promotes itself. Yeah, they actually use Cloud and Tifa's kisses. Like, they in fact, the only date that they actually, I've seen them actively tell people to go play is Tifa's date. Now, they've said go play all the dates, but they have specifically at least twice that I remember that stream, and then they did this interview, like this interview series where they were like, if you get Tifa's date, you get a special scene. Go see what it is, okay? Now, I'm just saying, and then in that same thing, I believe Toriyama and Nojima worked together in that, and Toriyama was like, you know, talking about how special Cloud and Tifa's relationship are, and they showed the gondola, right, like when they first get on the gondola and stuff. Just saying, they didn't do all that for a certain other ship, okay? And what's so funny is they were bragging so much about how, what, you know, who was Rosa in the, in the music, I'm sorry, like in the concert. Conveniently forgetting to mention that who did they show on the gondola with Cloud? Tifa. So it didn't even matter that Aerith was Rosa. They still showed Tifa's gondola ride. Okay. But yeah, they never promote the kids. They never talk about Cloud and Tifa's date. Okay, whatever. Pure copium. Okay, but so that's what it's boiling down to. This is the only kiss that is not between a romantic pairing on camera in a Final Fantasy game, right? So they have to hone in on it as evidence that they still have a chance in hell. They don't. More Sia Copium. You would not believe. I mean, we are, look, the FF7 fandom was so embarrassed by this stuff they were doing on Twitter. Oh my God. FF10 fandom hates us right now. Okay. And I'm sitting there like, I didn't do a damn thing. Please do not put me in this. Okay. I would never, I mean, again, outside of the pure lunacy of this fandom, it would never occur to me in a million years to think, let me find a win and somebody getting forced into a kiss. Let me try to find a way to use this again. I mean, no. Oh my God. So yeah, they were quote retweeting the hell out of it. See? Oh my God, look, Seymour forcing a kiss on you. Look, they're promoting it. They won't even promote Cloud and Tifa kissing. And then the other couple is, see, this is a non-canon couple kiss. So just because Cloud kissed Tifa doesn't mean that it's canon. Here's a massive difference. First, I put the headings, and we went through this. One's forced. Seymour. There's multiple differences here. One being, one is a forced kiss, one is a consensual kiss. Okay, that's the biggest difference. Okay, and the most important difference, if you ask me. Okay, as someone who believes in consent. Okay, two. Seymour's the villain. I don't know if they realize it. Seymour's the villain. Cloud is the hero and the protagonist. He's not just a hero, he's the protagonist as well. Okay? Literal opposite. Okay? So I'm not sure how you analogize the two. And so you'll see the Barrifa thing has another conclusion I'm gonna get to, but I'm gonna get to what's really going on here. I made this CloTis fun facts video. Honestly, I don't remember when I made it. Maybe a year ago, maybe longer. I don't know. Where I pointed out that in the 40-year history of Final Fantasy, you've had 6 protagonists. Hey, Monk, you've had 6 protagonists. And we'll circle back. Monk is now with us. Can y'all tell me what, once Monk gets settled in, can you tell me what her levels are in comparison to mine? I just want to make sure that we sound on a similar level. If she's a lot louder than me or I'm a lot louder than her, I need to adjust that so I don't have to, so the video isn't messed up later, because that's what happened with the Costa del Sol video. So please, once we're going to do another mic check once she gets settled in, okay? But I'm going to just say this real quick. I made a CloTis Fun Facts video where I pointed out the fact, not my opinion, the fact that there is a 40-year history to Final Fantasy and only 6 protagonists have shared an on-screen kiss. And it is always with the person they end up with. There are no exceptions. Okay? None in 40 years. And this apparently has really pissed off Twitter clears, because they have no recourse to this. The only recourse they can come up with is, well, Seymour and Una kiss, even though Una is not the protagonist and neither is Seymour. Thus, what does that have to do with it? Because my video is very specific, because I knew they'd try to pull that bullshit. My video was very specific. Protagonist. If you go look up the protagonist of Final Fantasy X, the name Una does not come up. Okay? Nor does Seymour. And then the other one is, well, it's an optional kiss, and the other ones aren't. Well, last I checked, don't Clive and Jill get an optional kiss? But I digress. And something that Monk pointed out earlier, and we've pointed out before, but I thought worth mentioning again. We are halfway through this game. They're comparing Cloud and Tifa getting an optional kiss halfway through the game to whole games. Again, making no sense. That, in fact, is more of a win in the Cloudy column, because of the fact we are halfway through it and they still giving us a kiss. So, if we're getting optional kisses on gondolas, the one scene that they wanted more than anything, now, what the hell do you think we about to get in part 3 when it is the climax, pun intended and non-pun intended, pun intended and not intended, of Cloud and Tifa's relationship? Their biggest moments, not their biggest moments, and the biggest moments of the game, which they are involved in all of them, okay? What do you think we're about to get in part 3 as CloTis? If we're getting gondola kisses, we ain't even asked for a Monk. I did not see a single Cloudy. Girl, not a single Cloudy saying that we were going to get a kiss on the gondola. I didn't see no Cloudy's begging for a kiss on the gondola like a certain people, you know, that after that TJ trailer. Girl, go ahead.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Look, you and I have had these conversations on and off record, or on and off stream, I should say, where I was like, I'm not expecting a kiss until part 3. Like, that was legit my assumption, is that they were going to toy around, that we might get a near kiss in part 2, which we ended up getting that shit too. So, so we got both the near kiss and the actual kiss.
Like, yeah, we were hoping for, like, yeah, like, I remember us hoping for, like, well, maybe they'll almost kiss on the water tower or something. Mm-hmm.
I was fully expecting to have to wait until either the live stream scene or the Highwind scene to see some lip-on-lip action. This one took me completely by surprise. Like, whoa, they're giving this to us already? And then my mind goes back to that interview that, no, not Nojima, excuse me, Nomura said, where he said, we are accelerating Cloud and Tifa's relationship. They are pushing it forward. And I was like, well.
And I wonder why. And if you ask a Claire, oh, well, they're just getting them out the way. Honey, listen.
That has never happened in the history of ever. Has it ever been? Oh, again, and let me ask Clarice this. Get them out of the way. Get what out of the way? I thought you guys said they didn't have a romantic relationship. Now you're saying, oh, well, they're getting it out of the way. There's nothing to get out of the way if they don't have a romantic relationship in the first place. So the very fact that you think that they need to, quote, get it out of the way, lets me know that you also acknowledge that there is, in fact, a romance between Cloud and Tifa. So, once again, thank you for playing yourself. Second of all, I got to get this off my chest. I don't know if you've addressed this already. I'm just now jumping in. But I got to get this out while it's still...
Well, before you do, let's get a mic check on it. Okay, so SPITFYRE, whoever, not the staticky, because that's all right. She's cleared up. But we heard most of what you said. Don't worry about it. But as far as her level, am I too loud? Is she way louder than me? Are we generally on the same level, or do I need to adjust somebody's mic? Can somebody give me a specific answer before I continue? SPITFYRE said, Cloud said, hold my Cosmo Canyon. Yeah, for real. Mike is great. Okay. All right, Strife,
Okay,
I'm gonna trust you on this. All right, let's pray. But yeah, go
wait.
ahead,
So
Rock. Let loose.
did she say I was staticky? Am I okay?
No, you're good. I'm louder, but all good. Okay, I'm a turn down just a little bit. Okay, we're
Don't
pretty
be
level.
too
Okay,
much.
just a tiny bit. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. All
Okay,
right, go
all
ahead.
right. All right. So, as some of you who are familiar with the Twitter space, which I'm assuming most of you are from Twitter, I won't name drop the individual who said this, but there was a pretty prominent cleric who made the mistake, I will say, of actually out and out begging Hamaguchi for a quote, just one world where Cloud and Aerith are together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to get to that later, but you can go ahead and say it, and then we can circle
I'm
back.
sorry. Let me not throw off your whole thing here. If you need me to hold off, I can hold off.
Yeah, just trust me. We getting to that. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'll hold off.
We're just talking about this lunacy involving this.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I ratioed some poor fool who thought that they were going to try it with this whole comparing. Oh, well, we're not saying that the kisses are the same. We're just saying that there's different contexts for kisses, because we all know that there's all these different contexts for romantic kisses on gondolas on dates with fireworks going around.
Called a tender kiss.
With triumphant romantic music playing in the background. The title of the song is called A Tender Kiss. But yeah, we need to talk about the quote-unquote context of the kiss. Get the hell out of here. Suck my whole... No.
Girl, look.
I'm gonna need the entire Clarith fandom to collectively take a seat, because good Lord.
Lord have mercy. And what I also loved about the responses, like, people weren't saying what they were saying. They're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Comparing a forced kiss with a 17-year-old and a 28-year-old to two consensual ass adults who have had feelings for each other since they were kids and have a family later. It makes perfect sense to do that. You know what? I think Clarith is canon now, because I read this one dumbass tweet that somebody wrote. I think Clarith is canon now. Like, instead the responses were mostly like, here we go, FF7 shippers again. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. Okay. And frankly, I am upset that we all got lumped in, because that ain't us, okay? Normal people don't look at that picture on the left and think, we got completely humiliated by that TGA trailer, because we jumped the gun, we jumped the shark, we jumped the moon, we jumped the universe, and assumed that we would get a kiss on the gondola. So we went out there and said a bunch of now completely damning things about how if two people kiss on the gondola, it's canon. Doesn't matter if it's optional scene. In fact, of course, they're not going to get rid of the optional scenes. Blah blah blah. All this stuff. Oh, I imagine that Cloud is going to initiate the kiss, and he'll pull Aerith in, and then he'll be the one to kiss her, and they'll kiss her. All this stuff. And then the second it came true for Cloud and Tifa, oh well, kisses aren't as romantic. Kisses aren't always romantic on Cloud, and Aerith's really waiting for the real Cloud, the one she don't even know in the first place. She's waiting on the real Cloud now, and handholds are more romantic than kisses, which is why they're asking for more handholds in part 3. Oh no, wait, they're waiting for Cloud and Aerith to kiss. How come she isn't waiting for the real Cloud to hold his hand again?
Mm-hmm.
And if handholds are more romantic, lovers' ties and all that, it's more romantic than kisses, then. So you're telling me that Aerith's waiting on the real Cloud to do something less romantic with him than what she did on the gondola with Soldier Cloud, fake Cloud? So I'm confused. That's like saying she married Cloud on the gondola, but she's waiting to be his girlfriend in part 3. Like, that seems a little backwards to me. Should it be the opposite if you're claiming that the handhold is working up? Is it working up or is it working down? Mark, it's hard to follow the logic because it's almost like they just say whatever it takes in the moment to cope, to think that we're crazy enough to cope along with it. I don't know. I don't get it. You're breaking up. All right. Hello? Mm-hmm. Nope. Someone said Tifa's the only heroine who has a mini side quest called Alone at Last after doing all stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Conveniently. Funny enough, after you do all of Air's side quests, it's Language of Flowers, and she's quoting something she wrote to Zach in a letter and talking about, talking to the flowers and not being able to hear them anymore and stuff like that. Stuff that leads to Zach stuff, but whatever. Okay. Weirdly, it's not called Alone at Last like Tifa. So, nope. She'll be back. But yeah, so, like, well, yeah, that CloTis Fun Facts video I did really got under their skin, clearly, because they have not been able to come up with an excuse other than this foolishness, or, well, it's an optional kiss, and I saw another cope, oh, well, those other kisses happened at the end of the game. Well, you do realize, while this is a trilogy, this kiss did happen pretty much at the end of the game, right? I mean, chapter 12 out of 14 is that's what most people call the end of the game. Hey, Monkey back.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
We didn't hear a word you just said. Yeah, so I just been talking. Okay, girl, go ahead.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, so basically, yeah, as I was saying, if you really want to know what Claris were what they actually think about all this before all the performative stuff they put on social media, look at their reactions to when they found out about the kiss initially, because that is their honest, actual reaction. I hate Tifa. I hate the fact that she even exists, and Rebirth is ruined for me. Those
is Joe over? I saw that a lot. Is Joe over?
It's Joe over, and people were burning their Ultimanias and stuff. That opinion, by the way, has not gone away. They've just hidden it from us because they saw us laughing, because again, it's funny. I'm sorry. It's just funny. Watching people crash out over a 30-year-old story it's funny. I'm sorry. It just is. Like, this is common sense. You guys should have seen this coming a long time ago. And part 3, that crash out's going to happen again, and we're going to be laughing again because, again, you guys should have seen this coming. It's very obvious.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless,
you had a 27-year head start.
You had a 27-year warning that this was going to happen. Okay. So you have no one to blame but yourselves at this point. But regardless, all this performative stuff that you guys are doing, it's not fooling anybody. We all saw what you really thought.
Fooling me. I mean, people who are selling the fandom right now were claiming that this game is no longer for them and all, and now suddenly, I guess the game's back on. I don't know. I mean, it don't make any damn sense.
If they're out there, look, is it really back for them if they're coming to the developers with their hat in their hand going, oh, please, Hamaguchi-san, please give us some alternate multiple ending story.
A lot of them, I mean, every post. When Nojima was out there liking posts about Cloudy babies and stuff, they please let Eric live this time. It's like, okay, but child, listen.
They've been begging for the world to be alive for 3 decades now. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not going to. They're not going to bring her back.
And I just want to note that, Hamaguchi did basically like a little conference. They did like a little conference around Aerith, and he talked about how he was one of those kids back in OG that was trying to revive Aerith, and he couldn't, and he realized he couldn't do it, and it made him sad and all that. And he's out here saying how much he's still out here saying how much he loves OG, and how people who love OG are gonna love the love the ending of the remake, and stuff like that. And it's like, Hamaguchi is talking about the same game in which, he obviously is a big Aerith fan. The same game that she died. And he's saying he loves that story. I don't know why people think that he's about to co-sign on them changing everything. Like, it's not happening. And again, this is why they have to cope so hard about this kiss. Because understand, that's what it's about. They have no rational reason to believe, after 27 years, with Cloud embroiled in one of the most infamous ship wars of all time, they're gonna let him kiss one of these girls. He could have kissed both. He could have kissed neither. They could have left it alone. Like Monk said earlier, we all were just like, we're probably not going to get a kiss until part 3. Now, we were all confident we were getting a kiss. But we were like, it's probably not going to happen until part 3. Maybe it's too soon. A lot of us had that, concern too. Like, maybe it's too soon. How are they going to actually play this out? Because we understand Cloud's issues and stuff like that. But they made a point, like, real Cloud coming out around Tifa. And you see these pockets of, moments a lot with Cloud and Tifa where he's clearly, grounded and centered. And another thing that Hamaguchi said, they ground each other. Okay.
He literally said she was his anchor. She anchors him.
She anchors him. And
you could not be more bold with that language.
Yes, and I'll tell you what really flipped the switch for me, and I'm just saying this, Monk has heard me say this 100 times, but I'm just saying it for people who might not have heard me say this. You also have to realize we're not talking about two people who just met 16 days ago. Okay? We're talking about two people who have had romantic, at the very least, feelings of love, being in love at the most with each other since childhood. Okay? This boy was prepared to die climbing up a mountain chasing after this girl. Okay? That's not a passing crush. Okay? And then we get the confirmation out of 2000 Guild to becoming a hero. Him wanting to be a special existence to Tifa. This is a 14-year-old. Not saying I want to go out on a date with Tifa. Oh, I want Tifa to be my girlfriend. I want to be her special existence. Okay? You got Tifa on the other side saying, not, oh, I find Cloud so cute. Oh, I want to go on a couple of dates with Cloud. Or that. I want to spend the rest of my life with him. That's her at 12/13, depending on what part of the compilation you're talking about. but 12 or 13, okay? Deciding this is the boy she wants to spend her life with. And yeah, people make declarations like that. We understand. We all had crushes. Oh, I'm going to spend the rest of my life. This is a video game. These things are being said for a reason. You don't make a declaration like that 19 pages into a 400-page book and it don't mean anything. And again, in the middle of an LTD like this, okay? It clearly is pointing to who the canon couple is, and thus why is anybody surprised that with those two texts written before Rebirth, these are the two that kiss, okay? So yeah, this is absolute nonsense. Yeah, they made an absolute spectacle. I mean, they showed they asses. And I was just like, damn. I was over there reading the comments. I was like, man, they were getting trounced, pummeled.
Could not be.
I was, girl, I had the popcorn out. I was like, I thought they might act a little bit of a fool because like I said, I know how cleradicals operate, okay? And for the record, a cleradical is an extremist cleric. It's not all clerics. Let me just put that out there. I know how cleradicals operate. And I knew the second I saw that, I was like, they're going to try to make something out of it. They are stupidly going to try to make something out of this. And where they fucked up, other than how obviously toxic this is Final Fantasy X is a beloved series, okay? I mean, it has its detractors, but this is such a gripping story. And even though a lot of people love the love story between Titus and Yuna, it's not even almost the best part about it, in my opinion. There's so much more to it, and I could go on a whole diatribe about what I love about Final Fantasy X. These characters individually, this story really helped shape a lot of people growing up. And so for it to be sullied for this bullshit that they tried to do with it, like, yeah, they universally got smacked the fuck down over this, okay? What an absolute travesty. And they just, like, they just poison everything they touch with this shit. It was the same. And then it's just so funny also how apparently Cloud is either Titus or Seymour, depending on who Yuna is kissing. Okay? It's just, and ironically, the one time that they'll acknowledge Tifa as a heroine is when they decide to pretend she's being sexually assaulted by Cloud on the gondola. This is just like, see two heroines being sexually assaulted. Like, what? Like, Just stop. This is where Copium goes awry. Terribly
Yeah,
awry.
because Yuna totally like reached her hand and put her hand in Seymour's and allowed herself to be hugged and embraced and stuff. Yeah, because it's totally the same thing. These people are just
Oh my God.
like, I'm sorry.
And then
like,
if you really want to get dark about it, I mean, it's seriously, then if you really want to get dark about it, if you really want to get dark about it, like, this is their wedding. Thus, there's going to be a wedding night. She don't even want to kiss it. Like, I'm not going to get into it. We all understand what I'm saying. Like, this is a really dark scene that they are using for bullshit shipping war fodder. And it completely
wouldn't be
blew
the
up in
first
their
time.
faces. Completely
It
blew up
would
in their
not be
faces.
the first time that they have used weird, rapey type language. I mean, don't even.
God, don't get started on that.
Oh, don't get me started on that. It would not be the first time. Like, there's something really off about. But hey, that's what happens when your fandom is so wrapped up in weird headcanons and stuff that's not based in the actual lore of the story, that you do have the tendency to go off into the woods like that and come up to these weird examples that don't actually equate to anything. Yeah, you're gonna sound loony. You're gonna sound nonsensical when you're not based in canon. This is. I have experienced this many times in many different fandoms. Claris are not special. They might think they're special, but they're not special.
I'd beg to differ, but I hear what you're saying.
I mean, they're a special kind of crazy because they've been hanging on to this for so many years, but only because in my opinion, the reason they've gone so off the wall is because they've been hanging on to this for so long.
They have no choice.
And now it's like, it's been deeply like entrenched in that fandom now, where it's like these weird headcanons have become something of a centerpiece of that community now. Like, they come up with these weird ideas and then they all like agree to it. And they're like, oh, this is what's actually happening. Even though you can present them with books upon books upon books and, decades of interviews and stuff like that directly contradicts it, does not matter. Once they've clung on to an idea, that's what it has to be and nothing else.
Well,
you cannot talk to them.
Because they
cannot
rationalize how in the hell their ship is still the canon ship, the intended ship, without these wild rationalizations. Cloud, at 21, decided to give his first kiss to Tifa in a gondola with fireworks blaring, stars in the sky, the same stars that he looks up to, and they comfort him, same stars that he made the promise to, and this girl he's had feelings for since he was a child, as long as he can remember. He can't just be kissing her because he has feelings for her. They can't even, if they had. It's so. I'm trying to find a diplomatic way to say it. Honestly, like, they cut off their noses to spite their faces with this.
Exactly.
I told you this, like, if they even just said, hey, you know what? Maybe they got caught up in the moment. It was a romantic ride, and, he was feeling it at the time, but we feel like later he's going to realize, even though he did have these feelings for Tifa, he's later going to move on and decide that, Aerith's really the one for him. It's still not true, but it's more believable. It'd be far more rational to try to explain to somebody than Cloud thought of a dead man for 30 seconds on a gondola that he knows been dead, that he thinks has been dead for 5 years, and in a fit of rage and jealousy, he decided to revenge, pity, whatever, because it's rebound / revenge / pity, depending on who you're talking to, kiss Tifa, knowing she's likely bucking with Aerith. Okay, like, so, like, what is this? Some sort of weird, twisted revenge plot? I'm gonna kiss your best friend, knowing almost certainly she's gonna tell you we kissed. Okay. I mean, it's like, but they would have to acknowledge, yeah, this is a romantic moment between Cloud and Tifa. And again, Mark, I always say, they see it this way because it's true. If Cloud has any feelings for Tifa, Aerith loses. That's how they operate. That's why they can't even just make a half rational explanation for this kiss. They got to go nuclear. Sexual assault. It's this. And by the way, somebody mentioned in the comments, they said, but wait, I thought Tifa was the one that was doing the essaying. So now suddenly it's Cloud. So what? Cloud's paying her back? I mean, I don't know what to think. Like, it's her doing it, and Gaga now suddenly he's doing it back. You know another word for two people who are consensually attracted to each other, who want to kiss. I mean, like, who want to have intimate moments with each other. They construe as essay. Like, I mean,
last time I checked, when somebody is mutually giving affection, it's called consent. You dingleberries.
And which, you know, again, they pick and choose when they want to listen to people like Yamazaki. He said Cloud was looking to Tifa's eyes, getting consent, but they just conveniently ignore that. They conveniently ignore the 9 minutes or so that he spent talking about the Cloud and Tifa kiss. Weirdly, jealousy or revenge kissing or essay, none of this stuff came up. In fact, he explicitly said it was consensual. Okay. Weirdly, they just never pay attention to anything. You know, it's almost like the stuff that they don't want to hear just go, I want to hear. Okay, anyway. Whatever.
Oh, you mean like the fact like they keep saying that the kiss hasn't been acknowledged or whatever. Meanwhile, we have entire interviews from Hamaguchi talking about the fact that this is a moment of growth for Cloud.
Yeah, because it wasn't in a tweet. Because they didn't put the kiss in a tweet, they must not be acknowledged. Okay, yeah, because Twitter is literally the only way to acknowledge the kiss.
An entire interview talking about how this is growth from the hug in the garden, which, by the way, is also now confirmed to be romantic. Thank you, Hamaguchi.
Thank you. Well, yeah, really, because I distinctly remember back in the remake days, they said, oh, she was crying because she was accepting. It's always, Tifa's always constantly accepting Cloud and Aerith being the couple. you notice that pattern. So in the garden, it was Cloud. Tifa was crying because she was accepting that Cloud had moved on with Aerith. Okay, and then in Trace of Two Paths, Tifa was sending red, you know, when Cloud and Aerith were looking at the chocobo or whatever. Oh, that was Tifa accepting that they were together. Okay, like, I mean, it's always Tifa accepting them together, and weirdly, Tifa's the only one that's benefiting from them being together because she's the one getting the verbal mutual confessions, she's the one getting the romantic gifts, she's the one getting called beautiful, she's the one getting almost kisses, she's the one getting taken care of by Cloud all night in the locked bedroom, she's the one getting a kiss on the gondola. I mean, like, I tell you what, if I was Aerith, I would tell Cloud to stop being jealous because the only person benefiting is Tifa in all this. Okay, that's the only person benefiting from all this jealousy. She get there, and now I guess next I'll be saying, oh, he jealously built Tifa a house because Aerith. I bet Zach is building her a house in the afterlife. I'm gonna build Tifa a house just to get back at her now. I mean, like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I mean, they literally said in the Highwind saying, oh, well, he'll have sex with Tifa, but he'll be thinking of Aerith, so it's okay. Yeah, I'm sure Aerith would find that very romantic. I'm sure Aerith would love to know that Cloud is kissing Tifa, making love to Tifa, but he's thinking about you, Aerith. Don't worry.
Oh my god! Look, girl,
look. Shit they would never say to Aerith.
This sounds like this straight up sounds like some daytime television, like Jerry Springer bullshit, where like the husband gets caught cheating, and he's like, "Well, no, it's okay, honey. I wasn't cheating on you. I was thinking about you while I was, up to my, you know what."
And like, what's so funny is they came out with that little joke video.
I'm never gonna buy that.
And then I'm gonna read some comments after this. They came out with that little joke video, of like Cloud, some phrase he said or something like that. He accidentally says Aerith instead of whatever he was gonna say, and like Tifa, like it was from a comedian. It's obviously a joke. They'll overblow a literal joke that is not canon to anything, but then canonize Cloud jealously giving his first kiss to Aerith's best friend. and again, I want to remind you, these are the same people that have damned Zach through life and death because he flirted with a receptionist once. I just want to note that. Zach didn't go give his first kiss to Cisne. Zach didn't, you know what I'm saying, then lock himself up in the bedroom all night with another woman. And then the door fly open and Aerith standing there and he's like, whatever. Okay. didn't care. Eric didn't say they were on a date, and Zach looks horrified looking into his sis-name's eyes like, oh, don't get the wrong impression, you know. I don't recall him doing any of that. So Cloud can literally have sex with another woman perfectly fine as long as he's thinking of Eric. Zach just does a harmless flirt with a receptionist who he never has any interaction with again. Damned for life and death. Damned for eternity.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, well, it's so funny, like the double standard, and and what's even funnier, like again, I pointed this out before, but I'm just gonna point it out again because I find it so freaking funny, is that Claris have been saying for eternity that Cloud is running around all these different worlds looking for Aerith, and who's the one who's actually going around hopping across worlds and stuff looking for Aerith? It ain't Cloud. It's Zach.
And
they literally took their little pipe dream that they've been clinging on to for decades, and they yoinked that from Claris and in canon gave it to Zerith. It's freaking hilarious.
And
you'll never not find that hilarious.
And Tifa is in fact the one circumnavigating the globe trying to find Cloud. And even in Kingdom Hearts, who's literally traveling worlds trying to find Cloud? Tifa. Eric didn't even offer to go with him. That she was like, whatever. All right, you go and find whatever you need to find, and let me know how it goes. Yeah, I'm cheering for you. Eric said, I ain't doing all that shit. She said, go ahead and do whatever you got to do, fam. But I'm sitting my ass right here. I'll see you when you get back. Yeah. No, I don't even believe you actually coming back. But you'll know where to find me. And that's so funny because he does know where to find her. She's like, oh, okay, we won't even get into that. Okay, we're going to go to the next topic in a second. But that's a whole other beast. I'm going to read some comments. So I'm going up a little bit. It's going to be golden. Okay, so, but to be fair, Senior CA is just gaslighting their flock. Yeah, of course. They're clinging to multiple endings. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. And we ain't naming no names. We ain't got to, because this has been going on for 2 years now, at least. Calling it out. The next major excuse. Oh, the trilogy was never canon. Jamie Jam, baby, we've been saying that forever. Oh, that will be the last bastion of Cope. Okay, that will be the last bastion of Cope. Najima, you know, he was an undercover Cloudy the whole time. He made it seem like, you know, but why did he write that Cloud and Aerith were lovers? Or he cowered to the Cloudies, and so he wrote this. Wrote this whirlwind romance between Cloud and Tifa, were, you know, because he was so scared of Cloudies that he changed the entire story. Hamaguchi, he claimed that he was, you know, I thought he was Uncle Claire, whatever the hell name they've given this man, but oh goodness, you know, he was just going along to get along, and he wasn't really. I mean, look, nobody's gonna be safe.
Wait.
You know what? Ironically, the people who will, you know what? Ironically, the people who will be the safest after Part 3 drops is gonna be us. Ironically enough, because a whole lot of people gonna be catching hell left and right. I tried to warn some of these people. A whole lot of people gonna be catching hell left and right. Anybody who has coddled these insane headcanons about Aerith is gonna be one to save Cloud this time. Aerith's gonna be the one under the high wind. Aerith's gonna live this time. All this stuff. It's gonna be that, and I'm gonna put that meme up when I repost this video. It's going to be scarring those hyenas. It's going to be a whole lot of people catching hell. And sadly warranted to a degree, Square Enix, because there has been some coddling. Like, they have tiptoed around these people, fearful of their responsibility. Here's the thing. They threw everything, including the kitchen sink, at them in Rebirth. But what they wouldn't do is cross a certain line because she is not the love interest. So anything short of her actually getting to be with Cloud, they are never going to be satisfied. It doesn't matter how much coddling you do, how much meaningless fluff you give them, okay? They aren't going to care. They are going to turn on y'all. Okay?
And what they're going to do is they're going to wave. Yeah, they're going to wave all that useless fluff that you gave them over the years and say, but you gave us all this. Why didn't you make her the love interest? You lied to us. I can hear it now.
They've already started doing. I've seen comments where like, y'all gave us the TGA trailer and you really made it seem like we were gonna get the kiss, and then you gave it to Tifa, and now CloTis are mocking us. Now look, now if you're unfamiliar with the history here, you may be like, well, damn, Stygian and Mock are being bitches about this. Like, why y'all are just mocking these people? Let me explain something to you. When that TGA trailer dropped, and if you haven't seen it, go see it. Okay, they were raising absolute hell all over Twitter. There are people who left Twitter everything because they were so sick of Claire's harassing. Okay, I wasn't going anywhere. I took a long nap. I went to sleep that night. I was like, yeah, they're going to be absolute terrorists for the next 3 months, but we going to power through because I know as much as I know my name, my social security, all that. Cloud ain't ever kissing Aerith. I knew that. He ain't ever kissing Aerith, okay? So, yeah, and they were running around being absolute terrors all over Twitter. And then they ain't got the nerve to be trying to come in our faces like we didn't live through all that shit, trying to flip the script now. Oh, well, we never wanted to kiss. Oh, well, handholds are more romantic, which is why we're asking for more handholds in part. Oh, wait, no, we're waiting for a kiss in part 3. Okay. Like acting like we were just born yesterday. You know, born at night, not last night, baby. We remember it all, and plenty of people got the receipts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't fooling us.
I got months worth of receipts.
It's the gaslighting I can't stand. Ship clears to your heart's content. Do not care. But it's the gaslighting, Watson. It's the gaslighting. Okay, rules for thee, not for me. So a kiss with fireworks on the gondola and stars and Cloud initiating the kiss, pulling somebody in for an embrace and a kiss is uber romantic if it's Aerith. It's a toxic SA mess, revenge kiss, all this other stuff if it's Tifa. Make that make sense. And we all know if the roles were reversed and we were sitting our asses out here on Elon Musk's Twitter every day trying to convince people that Cloud giving his first kiss to Aerith on that damn gondola, or anywhere for that matter, wasn't a romantic scene, we would be laughed out the room, and we would be the ones sitting on with a fire up our ass right now from half the fandom, the whole FFXIII
right now, I would not, because my ass would not be here.
Hell no, I would either accept the story as it is and keep it moving, or I'd leave.
Unlike Claris, I have enough self-respect to know when I'm licked, and I ain't gonna stick around for 30 years to get humiliated over and over and over again. But Claris have no self-respect, so they just keep sticking around.
I ain't gonna say all that. All I know is the ones that we argue with day and night. There's something going on. There's something going on.
They got a fetish for getting their butts whooped. I mean, I'll tell you that right now.
All I know is, they know this is coming. Okay.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
And speaking of, look, real quick, let's go to the Barrifa thing. I don't even know how long I've been streaming, child. We've been going ham out here. Okay. So they also now we got this wonderful new wallpaper out of Ever Crisis with Tifa and Barrett. They're talking and laughing in the bar. Perfectly innocent, lovely thing. They decide, and I knew, and we all knew. I'm sure the second you saw it, we all knew. Here we go again.
Here we go.
Okay, it scares me honestly how predictable, like how well I can predict what their next move is gonna be. Okay,
you can set your watch.
It truly terrifies me. Yes, you could set your watch to it. Okay. Now suddenly, oh look, Barrifa the truth, because these two are laughing. And by the way, I want to note. They also said Cloud and Aerith were the perfect couple and all this because they laughed together. And then who did he end up kissing on that gondola versus whose hand did he hold? But I digress. Just want to say, maybe laughing with people. He also laughed with Jesse. He laughed with Wedge. He ain't kissing at them either. Just saying. But anyway,
before we get into the drama of it, I just wanted to make one quick little cute comment about the actual wallpaper. This actually reminded me of a scene from On the Way to a Smile where Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett are like sitting around, I think, a campfire or something, and they're kind of exchanging stories. And Barrett tells a story about this one time that he fell in a well, and like they're all like laughing together. And I thought it was so cute. And I was like, this reminds me of that. And then I looked at the title and it says "The Power to Live Tomorrow." That's a very On the Way to a Smile type theme attached to it.
Absolutely.
So I couldn't help but make the connection there.
Yeah, it's almost like there's 200 pages in that, and not just like a couple of phrases in that book. It's crazy. Yeah. Books are made of whole pages, it turns out, in chapters and stuff.
And
That's
chapters, as it turns out.
And I forgot to read the rest of the comments. I'm sorry. They're cleaning multiple endings. Rekka says, hello, Monk. Let's see. I was in the too soon camp before too, Brian said. When we were talking about, we thought maybe a kiss was too soon. And I explained what really turned it around for me is, these two have been in love long before Cloud had this Jenova situation going on. So these are his true feelings. When he kisses Tifa on the gondola, that's not some spell of Genova's. That's real Cloud wanting to kiss Tifa. Okay. X was my favorite. 10 was my favorite before FF7R came out. Yeah. The way they're willing to destroy Cloud for this ship is crazy work, right? Like, that's the real kicker for me. You're willing to go so far as to analogize Cloud with the literal villain of another game just to make an excuse as to why Cloud refused to kiss Aerith at any point in Rebirth. Okay? But he kissed Tifa. It's crazy. Monk, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I'm just I'm just letting you go.
Gotcha. She's the one that only gets compliments. Let's see, what an admirable thing for the Cloud hero, the hero Cloud to do. Okay, yeah, people just come. CA loves Zach. They just don't realize it. They see real Cloud and think he's an original character. So Striver says CA loves Zach. They just don't realize it. They see real Cloud and think he's an original character. So they're basically saying the Cloud they think they love is really Zach. I've never understood why they don't want Aerith to be with Zach. Is it only because they see Cloud as a self-insert? Yeah. So I'm getting to that with this Barrifa thing, actually, because that's really was the underbelly of this Barrifa nonsense that comes from them, because it's fake Barrifa shipping. That's absolutely. Now, let me say again, once again.
It's called spite shipping.
Spite shipping, absolutely. Yes, thank you. Spite shipping. To the actual Barrifa fans out there, while I certainly don't agree, I ain't mad at you. You do what you do. Okay? Like I said, ship to your heart's content. I got no beef whatsoever with true Barrifa fans out there. But we know absolutely this is what Monk just said, spite shipping. They don't fucking, they're like, you don't say stuff like, oh, finally Boing Chan has someone who won't make her cry. If you're actually shipping Tifa and Barrett, okay? You're not going to insult her with a derogatory term, okay? As you're quote-unquote shipping her with Barrett, okay?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And all your comments about how she's not suited for... Oh, Barrett is the... she needs someone... Cloud is too immature for Tifa. She needs someone like Barrett. I want to remind you that Cloud is often the one reeling Barrett in when he's flying off the handle, especially in Remake. The man is going nuts every 5 seconds, and Cloud's the one having to reel him in like, hey, don't get us killed. Hey, look, let's come up with a strategy first. Hey, let's not just go barreling in. That sounds like a mature person to me. I'm not saying Barrett is wise. Barrett is definitely wise. He's obviously got, pretty much 20 years on both of them. 15 years. But I would not claim that Barrett is like far more mature than Cloud. Okay, that's not a claim I would make.
If you think about it, again, you would have to read Traces of Two Past Clariths to know this. But Tifa actually berates Barrett in her first meeting with him because he's not taking proper care of Marlene. She's getting after him because she's not clean. She doesn't have proper clothing, and they don't have any place to stay. So she gets after him. She's like, "Look, you got to take better care of this little girl here." So who's actually the more mature one in that situation?
Exactly.
They're like, I'm sorry, I love Barrett
Makes
to death,
no sense.
and
Love Barrett.
he is the Papa Bear of the group in a lot of ways. But he also has a lot of growing up to do his own self, and that's why part of the reason why he leaves to go basically settle his own issues. He leaves Marlene in Cloud and Tifa's care. Again, strange thing for Barrett if he's in a supposed relationship with Tifa. Why in the world would he leave her alone with another man who she has a previous romantic relationship with? Leave his little girl with this strange man and then takes off for like a year. Like, Cloud gets so much shit from this community, and Claris loved to talk about how Cloud left Tifa behind. Barrett left for a year.
No, longer than that.
Get all the way fucked.
I mean,
like,
the only evidence we have, like, I think it's after. I mean, because reminiscence of Final Fantasy VII is after having children, and Marlene is still living with them. So it seems like it. Yeah. It seems like in that Barrett is getting himself established, because I'm pretty sure she's living with him by the time Dirge of Cerberus rolls around. So but they understand they can't go out there and call him. You know, they understand how problematic even for them. They ain't stupid enough to go out there and call him a bad father. So. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I was like, I dare you to come out here and show your asses like that and call Barrett a bad dad.
Well, look, trust me, they're gonna turn on all these characters by the end of all this.
100%. Things don't go their way. They're gonna turn on this entire story and every character in it. They're gonna turn on the developers. They're gonna turn on anybody who genuinely loves this story. I am waiting for it, and I'm going.
I mean, it's gonna be.
They're already turning on each other. It's a hot mess.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh my god. But
and it's very entertaining, by the way.
But and then Strifer said, wasn't Zach perfect for Tifa last month? Yeah, literally they just cycle through whatever the nearby penis is. Zach, it's Johnny, it's Barrett, it's Emilio, it's some random guy in an inn and OG. I mean, it's just literally anybody that they'll be going after Leslie next. Oh, well, see, they have a connection. They both have loves that they lost or whatever, you know.
Literally any dick will do at this point.
Any penis will do. Any dick will do. You know because the point is, again, it's spicy. The point isn't, we're concerned about Tifa having the right partner. They want her out the way. That is it. Yeah. Period.
100%. And like you so adequately said, that's not even the word I'm looking for.
Adequately, whatever.
Eloquently, thank you. My brain. As you so eloquently said earlier, what they're trying to do is they're trying to find an answer for the fact that Zerith actually is the ship for Aerith, but they feel like people spite ship Zerith to get Aerith out of the way. But what they don't realize is the story itself is putting Aerith with Zack.
Yeah, so that's the clue. You kind of jumped the gun, but that's fine. We're good. We're good. Because that was in fact the conclusion. So if you wonder, like, what is this weird, like, trying to find just anybody that Tifa can get with, whatever, and like, I mean, even people like, shit, there is not a shred of canonical evidence whatsoever that Tifa and Barrett have any romantic inclinations. In fact, like Monk said, like, he leaves these two alone in the house, you know, like for years. Like, what is he doing? Years. And then he's over there talking. If you read On the Way to a Smile, he's sitting there talking with Sid about, Tifa's with Cloud now, or Cloud's with Tifa now, you know. And Sid's like, yeah, you know, it's the women that wear the pants, blah, blah. Like, they're talking about them as a couple. Barrett's like, I can't believe that she's with him instead of me. Doesn't show any. I mean, and then again, let's remember. Now, again, if you ship Barrifa, ship it. This ain't about you. I promise. This ain't about Barrifa shippers. This is about people fake shipping it and pretending that this is supposed to be the canonical couple because they just want Tifa out the way. Okay. Barrett is the one basically giving Cloud the green light, like, you know, hey, you know, she got this flower from this other guy, but she told him where to stick it. Like, tell him, like, hey, she actually liked your flower, she kept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He is
exactly.
well aware. He is what. Sometimes you just got to go for it. Now, Clarence love to believe that this is about Cloud and Aerith, what he said on that gondola. They admittedly made it ambiguous because they want you to just take what you want out of it. But but who does he actually go for it with? Going for it is not holding somebody's hand and then saying, I didn't do anything after. Okay, that's not going for it. Going for it is not one bit holding somebody's hand, hugging them, and then giving them your first kiss. That's going for it. Okay, and they think, because they just think in literal terms. They're so literal. Oh, someone's lost or something like that. It must mean death. It must automatically mean death. Okay. No, Cloud and Tifa are they have these moments of separation. When he's lost, like, that is a loss as well. Just because he's not physically dead doesn't mean he isn't lost. Okay. Like, and
Exactly.
that like they still have a reunion coming. Yes, they've reunited, but it's not their true reunion.
I mean, quite literally, the language in the live stream is the OG live stream scene is when Cloud tells Tifa, "Yeah, we finally meet again."
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That is quite literally a line of dialogue from the OG live stream, because they don't have their true reunion until real Cloud returns.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, real Cloud is buried under all these layers of, Genova influence and these false personas and everything. Like, real Cloud is still there, but he's buried under all of this stuff. You're not going to see the real Cloud until the live stream scene, and Tifa is not going to have her true reunion with Cloud until the live stream scene. So yes, that reunion is still ahead for them.
Yes. Like, there are moments of real Cloud, but it's even that what we call real Cloud, it's as close to real Cloud as you're going to get right now with him, because there's still this like Rhea always says that he wears Zack like an armor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
There's this veil, and I've said this, Tifa recognizes Cloud isn't himself because she knows what's under the veil. What we know is Soldier Cloud. Aerith knows he's not his true self because she sees the veil, as in Zack. Okay. Zack is the veil. She knows. She's seeing so much of Zack. She knows something is wrong. Like, two people aren't acting that similarly, but at the same time, two different people at the same time. She recognizes that Cloud isn't really Zack, but she's seeing so many of his mannerisms and things that Zack says and does. It can't be a coincidence. There's something going on. And unlike Tifa and these other characters who are not really immersed in this, even for a Final Fantasy game, like, we're seeing big chickens running around and shit. So we like, this all is fantastical to me. But, to us, but in the world of Final Fantasy, this stuff is quite normal. This Cetra stuff and this Genova stuff, that's, out of this otherworldly magical to a normal person. Aerith is familiar with all of this. Okay. So she knows like something is like super trippy happening right now. So yeah, she's going to be able to, in that way, she is wiser than the others because she has foresight and knowledge of things that they just simply would not have any reason to know, But anyway, and so real quick, Chisandi, hi, hey Kevin. He said, "Isn't Bear like 35?" No, he's not like 35. He's literally 35. Yes, baby. And then Jamie Jam said, even if Air somehow restored Cloud in the live stream scene, he still has his romantic feelings, memories of Tifa. Exactly. They've already gotten a glimpse of what a live stream scene with Aerith and Cloud would look like. It's called the water tower scene in chapter 11 of Rebirth. Okay. She's up there on this damn water tower, and Cloud is not sitting there like, oh my god, I'm on this romantic water tower, let me have a moment with Aerith. He's sitting there being nostalgic about home at first, and just the fact that he waits to introduce Tifa's house like this as like the last thing, he's building up to it. Here's this house, my house, the town inn or the inn and all this, and that's Tifa's house. I mean, I was like, you dork. Oh my God. He shrivels up like a little schoolgirl when she waves out the window. I was like, my God, they are making Aerith look at all this. And then to the point where Aerith is like, so this is where you kept lookout, right? Like, he's being
like,
so obvious.
Was so obvious about it that Aerith literally calls him out. Like, she's sitting there watching him revert into a child, like a little shy little boy. Tifa waves, and then Cloud literally like curls up in himself. You know, I was like, he's got his hands in
this big bad soldier, you know, future world hero. You know, this big bad soldier, future world hero, guy who killed Sephiroth, for God's sakes, when he was just a little scrawny teenager. You know, he's shriveling up like a little schoolgirl with the crush waving at him. And they're just like, he got it bad. I'm up here trying to ask him about his life and, you know, trying to ask him about the hometown. And I'm sitting there thinking we having a moment, and when really this motherfucker just leading up to introducing Tifa's house to me. And then we just stay. And then after he says that's Tifa's house, they both just staring in the window waiting for Tifa to oh my God. Yeah, so okay, but anyway, sorry. Yeah, so all of this, sorry, to get to the actual point we were making. When I say this is about Zerith, Mark started to say it, that's exactly right. There's a couple of things happening here. First off, she's right. They believe that we ship Zerith in some way to get Aerith out of the way. Here's the problem. Zerith is literally canon. Okay, every account of this game says Zack was her first love. Okay, they were together. Okay, it is a canon ship. It has been canon since 1997. There's no dispute except for in the minds of people who think maiden means more than the, and even maiden does not dispute this. Okay, even non-canonical materials does not dispute this. Okay, so you know. The idea that we're spite shipping Zerith, so they need some sort of like, you know, oh, let's spite ship Johnny and Tifa, let's spite ship Barrett and Tifa, let's spite ship, you know, whatever penis happens to be going by, let's just stick Tifa with them because we're gonna spite ship it. But also, they understand narratively, and this is far more important. Narratively, they cannot escape Zerith. Okay, literally from the moment they meet. Is particularly in the remake. She's talking about a memento. Oh, like the memento she's wearing in her hair that she's wearing for 5 years since, since Zack gave it to her. He calls a memento, and then she's calling the flower memento and gives it to Cloud. The one date thing. What did Crisis Core do? Canonize that. In fact, that's what Zack said to her. They took the park date chain out of Crisis Core. I mean, and reused it for the park date between Cloud and Aerith, juxtaposing, contrasting two people who have immediate mutual attraction to each other versus two people who do not. Okay, he says the line about soldier eyes. He says the exact same, in the Japanese says the exact same words that Zack did. That's why Aerith looks so sad. She says, "Yeah, I know," and she looks so depressed after he says it. She remembers every word Zack said to her. Okay.
She's literally on the verge of tears during this entire sequence.
And it's called, the song is called First Guy I Ever Loved. You hear a gunshot in it.
You hear a gunshot in the song. Like, my God, dude. You could not make it any more obvious.
You know, I mean, and it's just moment after moment after moment after moment, even on the gondola ride they've been waiting for so long. And I have always said that. I said, if this gondola ride mirrors what happened in OG, that means Cloud and Aerith have made no progress in their relationship.
None. Zero.
Because she is still in the twilight years of her life. Literally a day or two before her demise, she is finally telling Cloud, every time I looked at you, I saw Zack. And just now I'm trying to find the real you. And she's dead a day later. That means they have made no progress. Ultimately, like, yeah, they get more moments together, they get more scenes together, like they literally have more camera time together, you know, and things that people want to interpret as romantic. But at the end of the day, they're at the same place in OG and Rebirth on that gondola?
It is stagnant. It does not move. Because Aerith has not moved on, and Cloud is in love with another woman. You cannot make that relationship progress because there is nothing to progress.
Nothing to progress. By the way, everyone who's watching, please hit the like button. It really helps out the algorithm and all that. Please hit the like button and
like,
and if
comment,
you, yes, like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. But yes, and meanwhile, like, they take that as evidence that Aerith is the canonical date because it's the closest to OG. Yeah, if they just kept everything 1-to-1 and Cloud and Tifa had made no progress in a remake 20 years later, I would not be taking that as a win personally. I mean, if her date was the same where she was trying to confess but she couldn't quite get it out, and then they separated, but on Aerith's date he was verbally confirming mutual feelings, hugging and kissing Aerith, I would not take that as a win personally. Oh well, ours is the closest to OG, so it's the canonical one. Yeah, the one where at the end of the day nothing happened, because I mean that's the truth, is that she tried to confess but she quite couldn't. Now, one thing though is that the thing that stands out with Tifa's date in OG is that he actually shows interest. He says, "What were you going to say?" He wants to know what she was going to say. And had she confessed, that would have went a lot differently. That's really the difference, Monk. It's not that they have changed it. They expanded it. She actually confesses. And you see his response. So when you really break it down, when he says, "What were you going to say?" what we see in the Rebirth version is what that would have looked like if she had actually said it.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, it works perfectly. But the thing is, Nomura said they were going to accelerate Cloud and Tifa's relationship. Why do they keep making statements like that? Why is it about Cloud growing with Tifa, Cloud and Tifa being each other's anchor, wanting to accelerate Cloud and Tifa's relationship? You don't see quotes like this with any other person in Cloud. Nobody.
Just Tifa, for whatever reason.
And Tal said they could have left them both the same, but didn't. Exactly. They could have left them both the same. Why didn't they? Okay. So yeah, they feel like Zerith has been, because Zerith is actually being shoved at them, not by us, not by Twitter, not by Zerith, not by CloTis, by the story. They think that they can try to shove some nonsense like this down our throats and think we just going to fall for it. Like, no, we're not stupid. It's not the story.
Like, we know how this game goes. We have played these games before. We know.
And they know they're not doing all this extra build up around Zack and Aerith's reunion and all this stuff. Like, literally, Zack's whole thing in this re-trilogy is reuniting with his first love. That's going somewhere. And I promise you, hear me now, quote me later, that conclusion is not Aerith looking him in the face in part 3 and saying, "I want your best friend I knew for 16 days while he was acting like you instead of you now." That's not happening in any of those universes. Okay?
Nope.
And speaking of multiple endings, let's get to this. Woo, Lord, child. Oh, well, I didn't make a graphic for it, but I had 2 more things I wanted to talk about. First is, yeah, the multiple endings thing. Now, look, we ain't getting into any specifics. I don't want no names. Obviously, we ain't gonna do that anyway. But we've seen players in general talking about this multiple ending nonsense forever, okay? And here's the thing. CloTis ain't asking for, and we don't need multiple endings, okay? You know why? I know without a shadow of a doubt, if there's one ending, it's cloudy. Period. I don't need to guess. They're going to need to change A, B, and C for cloudy to happen this time, da-da-da. Now, do we want expansion, Monk? Of course we want expansion. Just like we've gotten so far. I don't want a 1-to-1 after they remake. This isn't, like a traditional, we're just upgrading the graphics a little bit and bringing out a game that was made 20 years ago. Okay. This is a full-on remake. So we expect expansion. And especially now that we have a whole compilation to encompass in it, yeah, there's going to be enhancements. There's going to be things that are retconned to make everything, cohesive. We expect all that type of stuff. And since it's 3 games, yeah, they can expand a lot more in areas where they couldn't in a 40-hour game versus 3 whole games. Perfectly fine. But we know if there's one ending in this game, it's not going to be nothing's canon. It's not going to be some other ship is canon. It's going to be CloTis canon, because that's the story. We don't need multiple endings. We don't need alternate worlds. We don't need alternate. And it's not because Tifa's alive, okay? It's because she was never going to die in the first place, because it's not the story. It's because Cloud has always been in love with Tifa. That's the story, okay?
This is what she was designed to do from her inception.
And not to mention, just as a side note, this false, dichotomy about this, oh, if Aerith is alive in another world, and Tifa isn't there, well, obviously he'll go with Aerith. Or he could just be with nobody. See, funny, again, rules for thee, not for me. When it's Tifa the one that lives, oh, well, Cloud has the option to be with her, but he also has the option to just not be with anyone. Even though he's running around building houses and adopting kids with Tifa, he's decided to be alone, because that makes sense. But if Aerith is breathing in one of these other worlds, he's automatically going to be with her. Says who? So the whole premise is false to begin with. Makes no sense whatsoever. She was alive and well in Rebirth, and he refused to kiss her at any point. 6 dates, 6 if you count remake, 6 dates, 32 chapters, her supposedly moving on from Zack, all this other stuff. Not a kiss, nothing. No mutual confession. Hell, he wouldn't even hug her until she hugged him first. Okay?
He won't sit next to her on her date.
He looks dead at her and walks away and sits across from her. Okay?
Yep.
Now, they can say, oh, he was nervous. Imagine. Now, these are the same people go on and on and on about, do you love me? With the man asleep and them in the middle, like, as they're literally laying in bed together, pretending they're not in a romantic relationship, okay? But Aerith just got through singing him a love song, according to them. Not us. Them. Just got through singing him a love song. They get on a gondola. She passed the seat next to her for the 2nd time in 2 days. He looks her dead in the face, walks off, and sits across from her and scowls. Imagine if that was Tifa, what they'd be saying right now. I do remember, Monk, and see, I'm going to be petty right now. I do remember when that 7th High event happened, and during the first part, Cloud was being standoffish and stuff. We understand why now, but he said not interested when Tifa wanted him to help her clean up the classroom or whatever. Oh, see, Cloud, she's not interested. She got shafted again. A woman left behind, and blah, 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 da, da, da. Notice they ain't said shit since the 2nd part of that dropped. And it was a full-blown cloudy Zerith bonanza, okay? And he said everything he did, he was doing for her and all this other stuff. All these wild confirmations of this too and all that. It was insane, okay? But Cloud, feeling guilty about not being able to save her and him saying not interested in that. They took it. They took and ran with it, okay? But Aerith, like, this ain't no, they're not at odds. They've been spending all this time. You got to spend a lot of time with Aerith in order to get her gondola date. She just sang to him. She just got through playing Rosa and all that. Canonical Rosa. Okay? And he get on the gondola and he looked dead at her and refused to sit next to her. There is no, we'd never live it down. Meanwhile, Cloud asked about Aerith and Zack, because him and Tifa literally just had this conversation because he thinks he just remembered how Zack died and said Aerith deserves to know, because he feels like a jerk for calling Zack a loser, not realizing he was dead the whole time, or in his mind at least, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So he asked, he's following up on the conversation they were having, and they act like the whole beginning of the gondola ride don't exist, the whole end of it don't exist, just these 10 seconds that they want to focus on. It's just like the disingenuousness. It's just, but see, I ain't fooled by all that, okay? Because I read between the lines. What they're mad about is they have felt, and I've had them tell me this, they felt that Zerith is being shoved onto them, okay? That if Zerith happens, it's just because, like, for whatever reason, And they'll come up with 10,000 excuses because they know damn well Aerith about to look this man in the face in part 3 and tell him she'd rather have his best friend over him. Okay,
you know something. You know something. Stidge. I'm gonna let the Claris fandom know right now. Yes, Zerith is being pushed on you. Do you know why? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's because it's canon. The story is pushing them on you because that's what the story is. The developers are telling you a story. That's why it feels like it's being pushed on you, because it is being pushed on you. You are being guided in that direction by the very narrative itself. Aerith's actions, Cloud's actions, Zack's actions are all pushing you in that direction, saying, hey, Zack and Aerith are still in love with each other. Yes, Zack and Aerith are going to be together again. They're going to be reunited. It's not us doing it. It's the story.
Don't get mad at us. Get mad at SC.
Yeah, don't get mad at get mad at yourself for not understanding basic storytelling. Okay, don't get mad at Square Enix. Don't get mad at us. Don't get mad at fictional characters. Take it out on yourself. Hit yourself in the head repeatedly until things start making sense. I don't know. Figure it out.
Starfire said the fact that the air date doesn't change means they didn't need to develop the relationship. Exactly.
They did.
Exactly. The fact that it is damn near a 1-to-1 to the OG means that, like, when they say when Moore says they accelerated Cloud and Tifa's relationship, that means they felt it was necessary in order for them to do this remake. They felt it necessary to speed up Cloud and Tifa's relationship, leading to what exactly? Okay. They're making it up to where they're already kissing in disc 1. Okay. The ultimate, so far, form of canonicity, the ultimate proof of canonicity and vindication, if you're in this ship war, one ship getting the kiss and the other one not, is ultimate vindication at this point in the story. Period. You can't say one's dead, so A, B, and C, da da da. Everybody had an even playing field. In fact, Aerith had the advantage. Okay, because it was her game. You know what I'm saying? They gave her a lot of stuff. Tifa didn't get 5 dates with this man in 2 weeks. Okay. 5 dates in 2 weeks, and she couldn't get a kiss? That was the end of that. Done.
And it's so funny is that they keep talking about how, Cloud and Aerith need to be together in some other world, completely ignoring the fact that they already got that in Rebirth. That's what that dream date was. It was Cloud and Aerith in a world without Zack, without Tifa, and they still didn't get a love confession. They got Aerith saying, well, I like you, but there's different kinds of like, and Cloud literally just looks at her and tells her she's acting weird. There's no confession from him.
And she hates
They go to get a picture together, and the photographer's like, yeah, you guys don't have any chemistry. You don't look like a couple. Don't you think you make a bad couple? Look, good. Look. And look, Claris got mad at me for pointing this out, but they know it's the truth. That they took out the Kate Sith fortune and replaced it with this photographer. Instead of being told, oh, Cloud and Aerith's star is shining bright with this fake fortune from Kate Sith, they said, nah, we're not even going to mess with that. Took that out entirely, put this photographer in there, and said straight up, you don't look like a couple. You look like you're at a funeral. So straight up telling them, you don't have chemistry, and she's going to die. Yikes.
Poor little tank.
Like, they told you straight up. Like, they're not even playing with the red herring anymore at that point. They just ripped the Band-Aid off.
Straight up. And then, again, this is in the middle of a date. This ain't like, imagine if after Cloud and Tifa had that fight and calm, somebody walked up to them as they were like flirting at that little tower or whatever, he said, that promise I made you two look like you're at a funeral. You don't look like a real couple or anything like that.
We never hear
if anybody at any point walked up to Cloud and Tifa in Rebirth and said that shit. That'd be the end.
We'd never hear the end of it.
It'd be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
They always bragging about how some Walmart rapists, Scotch and Scotch or whatever the hell their names are talking about that, you know, Cloud and Eric, the couple, blah blah blah. Okay, but when a good citizen of society that isn't a gangster at best and an SAer at worst looks at them dead in the eyes and says, "Yeah, y'all ain't a couple." Oh well, what does he know? Okay, all right. Eric's own headcanon, which by the way is the same headcanon man that Zach has in here, but you know we ain't gonna bring that up. With Zach stamped up. And by the way, if you don't know, that dog that we mentioned, that stamp dog, and the name of it in the files is Zach's. Okay, we told y'all. That damn dog was Zach. Okay, was supposed to represent Zach. Okay.
Yep. Could not be
the vindication. You know, look, do you ever get tired? You know, sometimes my back be sore because I just get tired of being right. You know what I'm saying? You ever just get, whoo, like.
I mean, maybe if it ever stopped being so damn fun being proven right all the time, maybe. But I'm just thoroughly enjoying taking all of these wins and just being able to rub it in people's faces later. Call me petty. I mean, I'm a little petty. I'll admit it.
You know,
look,
the way that they become, you know, the way, again, not all CAs, we're talking about cleradicals, okay? They all know who they are. Why they be coming at us on a daily basis? I mean, hell, somebody sent me a message like, you know, you're on some block list with Claris on Twitter. I was like, I mean, not Twitter, Blue Sky. I was like, I post on Blue Sky like once a week, and I just say hello. I hope everybody's having a good day. I barely even post about Cloud and Tifa, frankly. Like, what are you blocking exactly? You know what I'm saying? Like, just obsessed with us.
Look, man. Look, people who they hate us because we tell the truth. That's what it is, and we're not filtered. You know, we just say what it is. You know, and damn the consequences sometimes.
So yeah, that's really what's at the underbelly of all this stuff when they go into these nonsense, you know, spite post bullshit. Is they feel like Zerith is being shoved at them. No, baby, it's called the story of FF7. And you set yourself up. That's why, notice, they don't mention that Dragon Quest shit at all. Have you noticed that shit? They don't talk about it. They drop that shit like just happened. They refuse to talk about it. You know why? Because Zach's fine ass just like a wrecking ball. Just, you know, like he came on a wrecking ball like Miley Cyrus and smashed right through that
Look,
I mean, to the point where they had to cut out Zach. Now, this is the saddest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I thought the London brochure was bad. Oh my god, they had to see Eris the princess and Klaus the hero, and then you get the full image, and it says Zach hero as well right underneath. They cut out his name. Oh, look,
and again, they tell on themselves again. Look, Claire tells on themselves.
You breaking up? Yeah, they telling themselves.
This is just a different step of. Look, my favorite thing about the Dragon Quest thing was the fact that they were celebrating the fact that Zach and Eric did not reunite. Again, telling on themselves about the fact that they know a Zerith reunion is going to be a disaster for them. If they really thought that Zach and Aerith reunion was not going to be romantic in nature, and that Aerith would just reject Zach and tell him, "Oh, I don't care about you anymore. I want to be with Cloud. Da 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 da. I've moved on." Then they would not be celebrating that the reunion didn't happen. They'd be encouraging it, being like, "Yes, please, let's get that Zerith reunion out of the way. Let's get this conflict out of the way so that Aerith can fully move on from Zach and But no, instead they were relieved. They were relieved that Zach and Eric did not meet up yet, which tells me everything.
That ought to tell you everything you need to know. They always telling on, they're just tattling on themselves for real. Because the thing is, like, we weren't dreading it. In fact, a lot of us were hoping that Cloud and Tifa would run into Emilio as an adult. We didn't think, oh my God, we fear that they'll reunite because Tifa will choose Emilio instead. Never seen him. Cloud said it never crossed any Cloud's mind. And in fact, they give this juxtapose because Emilio is someone who actually had one-sided feelings for Tifa, right? What they believe is going on with Zach and Eric, or she no longer has, or whatever. Okay. And Tifa's like, oh yeah, I saw Emilio the other day, blah blah blah, and or a year ago, and yeah, he came in with a stunning woman, blah blah. The whole point of that is two things. One, Tifa's obviously testing his memory, right? But there's a much deeper point, which is it's completely nullifying. Like Nojima was like, we gonna dispel this shit right now, and this is a non-optional scene. Okay, we're gonna dispel this shit right now. Okay. Tifa ran into Emilio a year ago. She don't give a damn about Emilio romantically. She was like, oh, he was with this stunning woman and blah, blah, blah. I'm so happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Completely dispelled the notion that if these two saw each other again, they would get together. Done.
Well, you just brought up something that I really hadn't thought of before, that Tifa may even be signaling to Cloud, hey, I'm not interested in Emilio. Here, look, I'm all happy for him and this new girl that he's with.
Exactly.
Maybe she even realizes that there was a little bit of a rivalry there between Cloud and Emilio, and she's like putting Cloud at ease, like, hey, he's not competition for you. He's out.
Yeah, like Tifa kind of talks around her feelings sometimes. Like, yeah, trying to give indications. So that's certainly possible as well. Like, she's trying to give indications like, yeah, I wasn't into Emilio, I'm just letting you know I didn't have feelings for him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have direct confirmation. I'm just making an assumption here, but
well,
it's not out of the
I'll
realm.
tell you what, I'll take your assumption over some of these people's assumptions any day of the week.
Exactly.
Some assumed Cloud would kiss Aerith on that gondola and some didn't. Just saying. But anyway, so anyway, we're just shooting the shit at this point. But yeah, trust me. You make a great point. If they thought that Aerith was really gonna look that man in the face and reject him, they would have embraced it. Oh yeah, let's have it. Just like we knew that all of them were alive in Seventh High. We were like, let's go. You didn't have the whole thing where Aerith died. Nothing like Aerith's alive and well. Everybody's alive and well. Hey, let's get it. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
And what did we get? Man, the Zerith was insane. I still got to make a video on the Zerith because, girl, we mostly talked about the CloTis stuff. We need to do a whole video on the Zerith stuff because that was wild out of that Seventh Eye event. Okay, we were squealing. Insane. We were squealing the whole time because, like, the first half was a lot more Zerith, and then the second half was cloudy as hell. Oh my God, the vindication all over the place was insane. Okay, whew.
Absolutely,
man. But yeah, that Dragon Quest thing, the second Zach, and I was like, those weapon pieces are there, like something is up, because why is Zach in there? I was the first one to say that. I'm just gonna get take credit for it. Just like I was the first one to say Kadaj, several of us gonna be Kadaj. And I'm telling y'all, I said something's up with Zach, and then when he showed up, I was like, oh my God. And boy, yeah, they were relieved when he missed them. And you know what? And we had already figured out that they weren't going to reunite because it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're not gonna put something that massive in like a little throwaway side quest crossover.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna save that shit for part 3. Oh. We're gonna have to wait for it.
Brian said, "Are CA's even Aerith fans?" And Pete Smarty said, "That's a good question. It really is." Yeah, I think it. Well, you know what?
They're
Part three is going to weed out
any of these characters.
Part
They're
three is
not
going to
fans
weed
of
out a
Cloud, and they're not
lot.
actual true fans of Eric.
Part three is going to weed out a lot of fakers. It really is. And I'm not even saying people who are actively
Yeah.
faking it, but people who think they love A, B, and C when really they love their version of these characters and their version of the story. It's not the actual story they love. And that's okay. What I mean by that is, you know, there are stories, you know, that I've watched. Like I always famously talk about Fruits Basket. I thought that, you know, at least I was coping. My copium told me that, you know, Yuki and Toru were the couple. Well, else I was Toru and Kyo. You know, I tried to stay into it, but it just wasn't for me. And so, you know what I did? I just stopped watching it. Do you see me sitting all over Twitter trying to convince the world that Toru and Yuki are the real couple, and how toxic Toru and Kyo are for each other, and how when Toru and Kyo kissed, she was really thinking of Yuki, or it was some, oh, well, you know, I think, you know, I mean, like all these crazy like coping mechanisms. No, I'm just like, yeah, that's the story, and it's not for me. Or maybe it will be one day. Maybe I'll get back into it and I'll be fine with whatever goes on. But if I go back and actually get into the fandom and actually get into the story, I'm going to accept and acknowledge the story as it is. I'm not going to be sitting around trashing the canon couple and, you know, acting like, and then, yeah, I probably still will, you know, fan and ship, you know, Toru and Kyo, and that's fine too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I mean, and just because, like, at a certain point, and I've said this before, you're going to have to decide if your love for Final Fantasy VII is bigger than your love for, you know, the fan and ship that you've attached yourself to.
Whatever it may be that you know, because people have a lot of what's going on is a lot of people have one version of this story, these characters, the story in their mind versus what's actually happening. And the thing is, the recent CloTis, you know, like, art is not a matter of, at some point it really is not a matter of shipping, and this is what we try to convey to non-shippers so hard, and they're gonna get a rude awakening too, because at some point Cloud and Tifa's love story is not a matter of shipping. It is literally at the heart of the story. The heart of the story is Cloud's journey. It's Cloud's story. And at the heart of his story is a boy who fell in love with the girl next door, who wanted to impress her, and accidentally saved the world along the way. I mean, that's really what's going on. Seriously.
That's really what it is. Like, I see this meme going around.
The story of FF7 is not a love story, but Cloud's story is absolutely a love story. 100%.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Absolutely. I was just saying, like, I see this meme going around every once in a while. It's so funny, where it's, you know, the guy with like the row of dominoes, and each domino is bigger and bigger than the last one. And so the first domino is, oh, Cloud wants to get Tifa's attention, and then the next one is, oh, he joins Soldier or tries to join Soldier. Then you know, Nibelheim incident happens, and then the last one is like big meteor hits the world and stuff. It's like everything just stacks onto each other. But that first domino is Cloud trying to impress Tifa.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
It all starts from that.
These are just two little country kids who fell in love and didn't know how to tell each other, and didn't know, you know, and they had the politics of Nibelheim getting in the way and stuff like that. There was always something getting in the way between them, and even now there's something getting in the way between them. Whether it's Sephiroth, whether it's Aerith's feelings for Cloud, and this whole Zack situation going on, you know, what is the soldier personality, or the whole, you know, Genova thing going on with him. It's, you know, whether it's the actual events of the game, you know, like they have constant moments of interruption. That's the slow burn. That's the, you know, they cock tease us constantly with Cloud and Tifa. And one of the ways they do it is not by having him kiss a whole other woman. Okay, that's not a cock tease. That's just, I've gotten the story wrong. That's what that is. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna say some more comments. I'm gonna read some more comments, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Again, please like, share, subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. And remember that I will be doing a 7-day stream-a-thon starting Wednesday night. So I'm going to the Seventh Heaven experience. So, please help donate to that. But again, I'll have more information on Wednesday for that. All right, so last couple of comments. I like the Shadow Amy ship in Sonic the Hedgehog, but I don't gaslight people into thinking it's canon. Yeah, like we all have fan ships we like. There's nothing wrong with that. I've got plenty of fan ships. Okay, I don't talk about them like I talk with Cloud and Tifa, but yeah, if you ask me, I can name a lot of fan ships I like. You know what I'm saying? If Aerith is happy with Zack at the end of part 3, they should be happy, right? Well, again, that's what I mean. We're really about to find out who are fans of Aerith's actual story or their version of her story. And by the way, Zerith being canon does not negate whatever you may feel for what Cloud and Aerith have either. Like what I mean by that is you can believe that she felt she had genuine feelings for Cloud, but still was in love with Zack and ultimately ended up with him. Like nothing's, I'm not saying I don't think that's canonically proven, but who cares? I mean, like, you're allowed to believe that. You know what I'm saying, Buck? Like, it's not, there's plenty of interpretations that, like, to some degree, the story absolutely gives you room for interpretation. It's not completely concrete.
But
you know what I'm saying?
That's
but
not
the problem is any contrition, they just can't accept anything other than the hardcore. This is what it is, and then they try to make false equivalencies with us yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's more than that. They want the end game. They're not going to be satisfied with, even if even if the game gave them room for, Aerith had, this short little and a tiny little, 2-week romance with Cloud, and then she ends up back with Zack. They're not going to be satisfied with that. They want the end game. They want Aerith and Cloud to end up together. They're not satisfied even with a little, fling or basic. That's not enough for them. They want everything. They want what Tifa has with Cloud. They want the family. They want the happily ever after, and I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. It was never.
And this is why Essie is not. And this is why Essie is not going to be dumb enough to start running around making. Just if you want Cloud with Sephiroth in one world, you get that. If you want him with Aerith in another world, you get that. If you want him with Biggs in this world, hey, there you go too. They're not going to do that because these devs are smart enough to know that's not going to actually satisfy anybody. All they're going to do is undermine their actual canon ships, and if 90% of the story is Cloud and Tifa and their romance, and then you get some little off thing for 20 minutes or so where Cloud and Aerith are in some other world and they end up together, they are not going to be satisfied with that. They're going to say, why did you give them most of the story, and they clearly got the main timeline, and we just get this little side thing as in one, like, imagine there's this thing where it's just running through all these different worlds, and in one world they show Cloud and Aerith kissing or something, and that's the world they ended up together, and then it just flashes by. They're not gonna be satisfied with that. They don't even want what they're actually asking for.
They're gonna feel like that's a slap in the face, and it would be a slap in the face. It'd be like, oh, here.
It would be that TGA trailer on steroids, okay? It'd be, because that's how they feel about it. Like, okay, you tease us with this Cloud and Aerith almost kissing, but you actually gave Cloud and Tifa what we wanted. That's what they're going to say.
Yep.
Rightfully so. Like, why did you even do this? So I give it's gonna look like you're just getting scraps. Like, we're just giving them a little pity party over here with a little, little other world that you'll see for 5 minutes. That's exactly what it would be. It would be a total cop out. It would, and it would be, and again, but also the person who's been arguing with these people for 5 years. Oh, there's just a part of my soul that just. The fact that they are begging for Aerith to be second choice after all the years they claimed that Tifa was second choice. They are begging for Aerith to get Tifa scraps, and it's just wonderful. Meanwhile, Aerith doesn't have to beg for scraps with Zack. She's gonna get everything she wants from Zack. And I've been saying this forever.
And again,
I actually thought Zack and Aerith were gonna kiss before Cloud and Tifa, but I didn't realize that they'd be holding off the reunion until part 3. But,
right.
Yeah. But she's gonna get she's gonna get everything she wants and deserves. She's just not gonna get it from Cloud.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like they're not even concerned about whether or not Aerith is about what the character of Aerith is actually going to be happy with. I mean, you can see. I pointed this out, before we were talking about the Costa del Sol dates and stuff, like where, Cloud tells her, "Hey, I'm no romantic," and she says, "Believe me, I know." The reason she says that is because she has a history of trying to make romantic overtures towards Cloud and not getting anything out of him. She's used to him not being romantic with her. That's why she says, "Believe me, I know." You don't say that to somebody who has been romantic with you in the past. That means that every interaction she had with Cloud before that moment in Costa del Sol means that wasn't romantic.
Not mutually.
She doesn't have to say stuff like that with Zach because he is romantic with her. He does try. He does reciprocate. That's what Aerith is looking for. She's looking for reciprocation, and she's not going to get it from Cloud. Why you would curse this woman with being stuck with a man who will not reciprocate, but he'll go over and kiss Tifa, who barely just like
bullied him all you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what are you doing? Let Aerith be happy with somebody who genuinely wants her.
And that's another
Cloud
thing.
Does not want her like that,
girl. And you hit on the point. So that's another thing. Like I had mentioned earlier with this whole brief. Oh, she needs someone who's mature. She needs someone who's gonna love her back. She needs someone who isn't gonna make her cry. Blah blah blah. Well, I tell you what, Aerith needs somebody who ain't gonna kiss her best friend 20 minutes after listening to her sing. Aerith needs somebody who isn't going to take her romantic gift and hand it off to another woman an hour later. Aerith needs somebody who isn't gonna lock themselves up in a bedroom. Who will sit next to her when she asks them to. Aerith needs somebody who isn't going to lock themselves up in a bedroom all night with her best friend while she's sitting on the other side of the door, almost kiss them, and when the door flies open and sees her standing there, they don't give a damn. Okay, they when they thought that when they tried to pretend though Jimbo was talking about Tifa being just a love, they trying to give women advice. Ladies, don't be with a man who does A, B, and C, da 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 da. And I said all this stuff under their poke, boy, they were not happy. Let me tell you, because look, this is not a battle you gonna win, my friend. Okay, I promise you, this is not a battle y'all gonna win on this one. If you want to do a tit for tat on who's getting more out of Cloud Strife, okay. Oh Lord, but yeah, so yeah, yeah, all I can say is, oh Lord, that was an embarrassing week we just went through. Whoo, yep. Jesus! I was like, I could not be
me, man. And look, this is just a small taste of what's to come.
Yeah. I'm telling you, if I was look, I'm gonna give some general advice out there. You cannot bait crazy people. You just can't. Okay.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground with some people. It just isn't. There's no middle ground with some people. You can give and give and give and give and give. And I can say this because I have done the same. I was very, trying to get along with everyone, trying to please everyone when I first joined this fandom. Okay. But for some people, anything short of what they want is never going to be good enough. Period.
Yep.
You are not going to be able to rationalize them. You're not going to be able to coddle them. You're not going to be able to compromise. It's not going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, when, not if, when Cloud and Aerith do not end up together in part 3, all hell is going to break loose on this fandom.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all will be surprised. Now, if the friction that will happen between Cloud and Claris, it's gonna be because Claris have accumulated such a long list of enemies by their behavior. And again, not talking about all clears. We all know who they are. People, a lot of them mind their own fucking business. They don't run around bothering people. They don't run around gaslighting about how kisses aren't romantic, all that bullshit. A lot of them are perfectly fine. But we know we're talking about the loudest people in the room. They have created such a long list of enemies, and it ain't just CloTis. I mean, there's people, even people outside this fandom, that can't wait for their downfall. Okay?
Yep,
that
they are
FF10
waiting
fandom,
for it.
you think that FF10 fandom ain't rooting for CloTis, even if they piss off at FF7 fans in general, you think they ain't rooting for CloTis after this bullshit? Okay? Just to watch them burn. Because the thing is, what they're not realizing is they are, like, they're just saying it as we're just comparing two kisses. FF10 fans are saying them exploits a teenage 17-year-old Yuna one of the worst moments of her life so they can try to get a one-up on a ship they don't like. It's disgusting. It's absolutely fucking disgusting.
Well, and the thing is, FF10 fans were already feeling sideways about Square
you cut out, but I think what you were going to say is, they were already feeling sideways about the fact that they would even use the picture in the first place. Like FF10 fans, me, I was like, why would you even post that? Like, that was my problem. Like, I don't want, we don't need to, they could have showed her fist balled up or like just shown them at the wedding. They didn't have to get all deep with it. Like, I was uncomfortable even just putting the thing in my little slide. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just ick. So yeah, so they were already feeling sideways, and then they came in and just blew it up far more than it needed to be, and they think this is a win for them. I beg to differ. Yeah, like, Yuna is absolutely beloved, okay? And what you're not gonna do is exploit one of her saddest moments in the game for that bullshit.
Right.
Just accept that Tifa got the kiss and Aerith didn't. That's what a rational adult would do. Okay? Period. Especially if you're claiming that kisses aren't even romantic. Then why do you care? Like, again, they always betray their own words, with their actions.
They tell on themselves time.
Constantly. If it's not even more romantic than a handhold, then what do you care? Just let it be what it is. And they really think like that. I just saw another streamer reaction today. She was like beside us. Oh my God, I didn't expect her to kiss, blah, blah. It was so cute, her reaction. Just elated, like, CloTis kisses bring so much joy to so many lives. I just love it. And, I'm sorry that we got the amazing gondola kiss, Cloud's first kiss, Cloud and Tifa sharing their first kiss with each other. I mean, I'm sorry we got that incredibly amazing moment that we didn't even ask for.
But see, that's the best part of CloTis is that you don't have to beg for it. You don't have to ask for it. The developers give it to you regardless because it's part of the story. That's the reward for understanding the story and rooting for the actual story, rooting for Cloud's happy ending, is that you get rewarded with scenes like this because you're following the story.
The kiss, even in the height of the LTD, the kiss, when you get it, is telling you you made the right choice. You understood the assignment. That's why they don't plaster it all over the place. It's the game, even though it's been 2 years, it just came out. They still want people to go and earn that reward. They'll go put the handle out there and left. They don't care. They put an ultimate and everything, but they put the hug in Ultimania because they want people to work to get that kiss. That is why.
And let's be honest, they also know that the majority of people playing are going to see the kiss.
Absolutely.
Like they know that that's what majority of people are going to see. They're going to see it on their own regardless. They don't need to put it in
gondola reactions. There are literally hundreds of gondola reactions to Cloud and Tifa's kiss. Okay. When they tried to scrounge up a video for their side, it was like 13. I mean, they're worlds apart. I was just like, wow. You got like 8-part compilations for Cloud and Tifa kiss reaction versus one video for Cloud and Aerith handhold reaction. It says it all.
Well, anyway. Because it's boring.
Even they said that. Even like, again, if you really want to know how they feel about it, go read what they were saying when it first came out. Okay, all up in the comments. I can't believe that Cloud and Tifa got a kiss with. Oh, Erica was a hand holder. Yes, I'm coping hard. And blah blah blah. And oh, they were going off, honey. Oh, Aerith's date is mid compared to Cloudy's and blah blah blah. Oh, they were going ham out there. But now some of the smarter ones that know how to gaslight better have come up with this nonsense about jealousy kissing and all this. And by the way, they turning from that too because they realize how stupid this sounds, and then we ain't falling for it. They just look like idiots saying.
We're waiting for the next leg of Copium next.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll end on this as well. You know, Hamaguchi's been saying like all the fans of OG will love it, and this will be a satisfying ending to the trilogy for fans. And people are taking that as they're trying to satisfy everybody. Everybody's gonna get a piece of the pie. No, they're not. I just want to remind everybody that when they were talking about the kiss in Ultimania, they said it was a scene fans only imagined until now. They didn't say Cloudy fans. They didn't say Cloudy shippers. They didn't say Tifa fans. They didn't say Cloud fans. They said fans. This is a scene fans have imagined until now. So I just implore people who are jumping the gun on this to take a moment and think, when Hamaguchi's talking about fans, who is he really talking about? I'm not saying they were saying Cloud and Tifa fans, but what I'm saying is that in their estimation, a fan of FF7 knows this is the intended couple. Whether they care for it, whether they actively ship it or not, they know Cloud and Tifa are the couple. Okay?
Right.
And people could imagine a scene like this, and now they don't have to, because now we see it. That's
exactly. Yes.
They didn't say fans have imagined Cloud and Aerith kissing until now. Okay. Just saying.
Exactly. At the end of the day, when they're talking about fans, they're talking about people who are actually following the story, not making up some version of FF7 in their own heads that isn't what matches up with the story, and then telling them, oh, you're going to be happy with this retrilogy because it's going to match up what you made in your head. No, that's not what the man.
Because if it messed up with what was in my head, people would have been pregnant by the time they left Sector 7. So, I mean, obviously, it's not just simply what's going on in your personal head, okay?
Exactly.
Man, the amount of fan fiction around Alone at Last and stuff like that. Oh, man.
Oh, that my God.
So, oh, Lord. Girl.
Well, we're not that visible. But here's the thing: our head canons are based off of the actual canon. So even though we get a little extra,
the game gave us a little extra. They had these two simulating rolling in the hay, and by the way, which carries an extra meaning for Cloud and Tifa, considering that whole Chocobo stable thing. Okay, they simulated these two rolling in the hay. In chapter 5, okay. I knew the second I saw that scene, because I just to explain to people, I played this game half a year before I joined the fandom, so I didn't have any of this fandom lunacy in the back of my head. I had no clue that people actually thought that Cloud and Aerith actually were supposed to be the couple, or were in love with each other, or ended up together. None of that. I was so blissfully unaware of the insanity that goes on in this fandom. Okay. And but I was expecting to be, I was like, well, this is their story. They could decide to totally lean into the LTD stuff, like it obviously didn't amount to anything in OG, but maybe they'll decide to lean in. I didn't know what to expect. This is a remake. It's their story, and I was willing to accept it whether I enjoyed it, whether I played it or not is one thing, but I was willing to accept whatever they did. So it was already obvious that they were going crazy as hell with CloTis and Tifa. But when I saw that train roll, I was like, okay, we definitely getting the sex scene and we definitely getting the kiss. Like, there is no
We're not in Kansas anymore.
We are not in Kansas anymore.
Like,
I was like, there's no way they got these two huffing and panting and moaning, rolling around on train tracks, bodies and crotches pressed all up against each other's legs intertwined, lips like centimeters from each other, huskily whispering, "Are you okay?" and all this. And we're not. And there's no way. Like, there's no way we aren't getting a kiss at the very least.
And then Cloud proceeds to continue to flirt after the fact. Like, Tifa's like, "Oh, thanks for what you did back there. Oh, you're pretty light, you know." I'm like, "Cloud, you dork."
Oh, and you know what's so funny? Thanks for what you did. That sounds familiar. So when it's Tifa saying thanks, he flirts and says, "Oh, you're pretty light, blah, 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 blah." When it's Eric saying thanks, when it's Eric saying thanks, you're welcome, but I didn't do anything. He didn't say like, "Oh, I love the feel of your hand," or "Oh, it was my pleasure, Eric." Yeah, you're welcome, but I ain't doing anything. Oh my God!
Like, damn.
Oh,
like he was ready to shut down. Like, even after a date, CloTis is like ready to shut down any thought that this was actually anything more than just a couple of friends hanging out.
And again, that's the thing. Cloud and Tifa stuff happens so naturally. Like, even when it's not even an appropriate time, and I don't mean inappropriate, but I mean like even when the moment doesn't call for something, they still have something happen. They're literally escaping from being arrested and tried for terrorism, and still find a way to have some sexually coded moment as they're jumping off of a moving train trying to escape the police. They managed to have this moment. Meanwhile, Cloud and Eric are on a gondola that is intended to be a romantic scene. And it is but I didn't do anything. I rest my case. Okay, we're done. What's the discussion there? Oh, well, but the train rolls. The train rolls optional. Again, you're telling on yourself. Every time you have to resort to, well, it's just optional. You're admitting that if we acknowledge this scene, it obliterates my ship. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Your ship, as you see it, cannot exist. Your ship, as you say, cannot exist intact. Your headcanon's runner cannot exist intact if these scenes exist. That's what you're saying. There's no scene that happened between Cloud and Aerith I got to pretend didn't happen so that CloTis is canon. Okay?
Exactly. None of them. Not a single
one.
Optional one or non-optional one. Not a single scene between Cloud and Aerith gets in the way of Cloud and Tifa being together. Not a single solitary one in the entire compilation ever.
Okay? Even this non-canonical shit they want to come up with, like Maiden. I don't care. All it proves is she knows Cloud and Tifa together.
Even in that one, Aerith gets cucked. So, like, I don't know. Like,
if I were them, I would not be bringing a Maiden. I'm sorry.
I would not.
That's a story for another day. But yeah. So anyway, all right, girl. It's late as hell. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. But again, I will start streaming. I'll be doing a 7-day stream-a-thon starting Wednesday. Yes, now, like I said, I'll be starting with Final Fantasy 13, the Final Fantasy 13 crossover. So far, the people that have outfits is Tifa and Aerith. They have Lightning's outfit. They look super cute, adorable. I'm especially in love with Tifa with the hair color in there and all that. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And then what was it? Glenn has Snow's outfit. Now, what I'm curious about though is Cloud and Sephiroth also have weapon parts, so I'm thinking they get weapons. I'm fairly certain neither one of them get outfits, but I think they get weapons. So
yeah,
we'll check.
If Cloud ends up with like a Fang weapon, I'm gonna holler.
Yeah.
Like, because Glenn has already got the snow one, so that's obviously not going to Cloud. But he's probably gonna end up with like a Fang or something, and that's it. Or Hope.
But yeah, so that will be yeah, that'll be cool. And thank you everyone who joined again. Please like, share, subscribe. I will definitely see you on Wednesday. Thank you everyone. Strife, Tal, Brian, Mr. Jamie Jam, Honey Bun, Kevin. Y'all were all great. Rekka, Chisandi. Nice to see all of you, and we will see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.